So Real Salt Lake may have just reminded us that when it comes to the star reduction, the loss of star power issue in the league, Real Salt Lake reminded us that there's already been a solution, but a lot of teams have not been tapping into the homegrown talent that's already available. Because you see, there's nothing, I don't believe there's anything the MLS can do to prevent players from wanting and negotiating deals to go play in Europe, whether it's Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, or League One. There's really nothing that the league can do to prevent players from not wanting and going there whenever the time comes, whenever they can. And so in Monologue 48, I've suggested, in the next CBA, whenever that is, that the league creates a protective clause. But Real Salt Lake reminded us, told us that that's not really necessary. All you have to do is tap into the talent that's already in America through the USL Champions League. You see, when you lose a star to Europe, you just bring up a new potential star from the USL. And this is a relationship that I want to see more often between the MLS and the USL. For those who are not aware yet, Real Salt Lake signed Diego Luna. Diego Luna is a midfielder who played for the El Paso Locomotive in the USL Champions League. And he is a potential star. He is one of those guys who has the potential of being the face of the MLS. So far this season, in 10 matches, he has scored 4 goals with 2 assists. And in 2021, in 32 matches, he scored 9 goals with 5 assists. So he only played it in the league for 2 years, for 2 seasons so far. So he's still young. There's not a lot of mileage on his body. He's only 18 years old. So he's a young potential star in American soccer. Also, he's American born. He's from California. And so this is something that I was saying in my last monologue. Since it seems like the South American players and the Mexican players, it eventually gets to the point where they want to go back to their home country, like Tati Castellanos, which is not bad. Maybe the MLS should start investing more into homegrown talent. Even if you have a large amount of players that want to go back to their home country or go to another country and play ball, you'll still have another large amount of players that want to be committed to playing soccer in America and growing the popularity of the sport, which is still growing, but it can grow even bigger and faster if you have more American-born stars who are dedicated and committed to really rising the popularity of the sport in this country. Diego Luna, a guy from Cali, he has the potential of doing such. So basically, his total stats in 2 seasons he's played in 42 matches, and in 42 matches, he scored 13 goals with 7 assists total. Now, for those who are not really familiar with the game of traditional football, you may be thinking only 13 goals in 42 matches and only 7 assists. Scoring in this game is not easy. Scoring in this game is not easy at all because this game is still heavily favors defense. And another thing, the guy's only 18 years old. So in his first season, he was 17. This season, he's 18. So he's still young. He still has an opportunity to grow and mature. So back to the main topic, the MLS investing or recruiting American-born stars that's currently playing in the USL. Real Salt Lake showed us a solution to the loss of stars to Europe and Mexico and South America issue. All you have to do is scout and recruit guys that's currently playing in the USL that has the potential of being stars and truly attracting more people to watching the game. And once you lose, like let's say since we're in the summer transfer window for the English, for all the European clubs, the European leagues, the Big Five European leagues. So when you lose one of your key players or star players to a European team in June or July, all you have to do is replace them with a player from the USL Champions League. And another thing that's big to this is Real Salt Lake. They paid the El Paso Locomotive a large sum of money. The transfer fee was $250,000, and according to the MLS, it is the largest USL to MLS. It's basically the largest transfer fee ever paid. Let me read the full article from MLS.com to you. I'm gonna try to read it fast. Okay. Real Salt Lake have signed midfielder Diego Luna from USL champion side El Paso Locomotive FC via permanent transfer, the club announced Thursday. Luna signed a contract through 2024 with club options for 2025 and 2026. Sources say the transfer fee RSL paid El Paso was $250,000, which is a USL to MLS record. MLSsoccer.com first reported the transfer Wednesday. RSL exchanged $50,000 in general allocation money with San Jose Earthquakes to obtain the homegrown priority rights to add Luna. The Earthquakes are also eligible to receive additional GAM based on various service and performance incentives. Luna spent time in the Quakes Academy before joining Barca Residency Academy and then El Paso. The 18-year-old U.S. Youth International had 13 goals and 9 assists in 43 appearances with El Paso in the USL Championship over the last 2 years and was the current league leader in American Soccer Analysis goal added G+ advanced metrics. Everyone at RSL welcomes the opportunity to further sharpen a young player such as Diego Luna on our senior roster, opening the doors for our homegrown development paradigm to a proven, albeit young, dual national number 10 on the ascent in his professional career, said Real Salt Lake technical director Kurt Schmidt in a release. Luna has blossomed in the last 18 months at El Paso, and we are excited to get him integrated into our system to learn from Pablo Mastroianni, correct me if I said his name wrong in the comment section, and his staff, while also watching him assert his skill at the upcoming CONCACAF U20 tourney this month. So basically that is that's part of the full report by Tom Bogert, MLS.com. The link is in the description box so you can read the whole article if you want to. But this is good. This is the kind of relationship that I want to see more from the USL and the MLS. Because the fact that soccer, traditional football, is not really popular in this country, it doesn't make any sense in my opinion for these two leagues to go up against each other, to view each other as rivals. The only time these two leagues should really view each other as rivals and should truly try to one up each other is during the US Open Cup, because that's the time when the two leagues actually do go head to head against each other. But when the US Open Cup is not going on, I strongly believe that these two leagues should be close business partners. They should be great allies. I think the USL should be a greater ally to the MLS than Liga MX. The USL should be a greater ally to the MLS than the Canadian Premier League. Because as the popularity and the viewership of the sport, soccer, grows in this country, both leagues will gain notice. Both leagues will grow in popularity as the sport grows. And even though the USL does not want to be like a official minor league or a relegated type of league, which is fine, I like the business model what the USL is doing. It seems as if moving forward the USL is going to invest and make its base more in between small market and medium-sized market towns, while the MLS is going to be more big market. And I really think that it works well for both leagues, and it makes sense. MLS being big market because it's like tier 1 top division league for that's sanctioned based on US soccer, and USL in second division. So it makes sense. So I like this move. Diego Luna, a guy who can score and he's young, playing in altitude. So it's going to be even tougher for teams to beat Salt Lake. It's already tough for teams to beat Salt Lake to begin with. Now you're adding a guy that can score and he's playing in altitude, and Salt Lake is already like a top 8 team in the West. The future of Salt Lake looks good. I like this move, and Real Salt Lake just reminded us that, look, we don't have to continue to we don't have to keep recruiting in South America and Central America and Mexico and Europe to find talented players. We have enough talented players in the United States that are going to be committed to helping the sport grow in this country and to help the sport become more popular in this country. And I strongly believe that Diego Luna is the right guy, and I believe that I believe he gets it. The only thing that should be asked of these young stars is to just honor your first contract. You just came from the USL. All we ask is just honor your first contract, because you're going to get playing time. You are going to get playing time, Luna, because RSL, they spent a lot of money on you. If you weren't going to get playing time this season, like, they wouldn't have spent all that money to get you. So the only thing that we all ask of you, Mr. Luna, is to honor your first contract. And then if you want to go play for the English Premier League or Bundesliga or La Liga or League One, that's fine. Because I am aware, similar to how the NBA, like America, is the mecca for basketball, people from all over the world, like Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, everybody from around the world comes to America to play basketball, professional basketball, because in America, it's the highest level of basketball to be played. That's what Europe is for football. Everybody goes to Europe, at least, even if it's just one season out of your entire career. All football players goes to experience Europe. At first, I didn't get it, but now I get it. But the only thing that we American spectators and American fans ask of Luna and other USL players that's going to come behind Luna and transfer to the MLS, all we ask is just honor your first contract. Once you fulfill your first contract, then, we have no issue of you going to Europe, or if you want to go to South America, or if you want to go to Mexico, go play in Liga MX, that's fine. And I want to see more of this. I want to see more MLS teams recruit USL players, because English Premier League clubs and other European clubs are going to continue to recruit MLS players during their summer transfer window, because the European clubs are going to continue to recruit MLS players during their summer transfer window, because they see the sport is growing and more talented players in the States are just starting to rise and just pop up on the internet screen and the TV screen. So if we can, whenever an MLS player transfer to a European club or a Mexican club, he can just be replaced from a rising star from the USL Championship division. I would rather see the MLS have a close relationship with the USL Championship clubs rather than the Liga MX club having a closer relationship with the USL Championship club. So Diego Luna, a rising star in the MLS, from the USL to the MLS. Hopefully this works out, and I hope that something like this continues to happen, where we see more MLS clubs recruit and sign rising stars from the USL Championship League. Because no matter how well they play in the USL Champions League, great players are always going to want to rise up to a higher level to prove their worth against the best of the best. So the rising stars in the USL, they're looking at MLS, they're looking at Liga MX, they're looking at the European leagues. So it just helps both sides. It helps the MLS and the USL to have that good, close working relationship.